SC at CS. I'm your co-host, Mr. Villeneuve, and my partner here, who will be here eventually, is Andrew Emmons. What we're doing is we're starting a sports show, talk about anything that's happening in the high school level, happening in the pro level, and all of that other fun stuff. Unfortunately, Andrew is a New England fan. It's not his fault, it's just the way he was born. Me, Bucks fan. Terrible, I know, but hey, gotta roll with it. Andrew, what's on the docket for today?
Well, first off, I kind of want to touch on the thing you told me about this morning, the thing about the high school player.
Oh yes, Damon James is his name. A Western New York football player suddenly died this week. He was knocked unconscious on Saturday during his football game and then passed away because of complications. It's a sad, tragic story. And again, it goes to all about safety on the field and things like that, and protecting yourselves at all time, no matter what sport you play, whether it's football, tennis, it could be anything. A life injury can happen on any sport, and it was an absolute tragedy.
I know. I heard this morning in gym class about Ronnie Reynolds, a volleyball player for the varsity team in our school. He actually last night he was playing and he dove for the ball in volleyball and hit Zach Van Allen's knee head first, and he was unconscious for 20 minutes. The ambulance was called, and he was rushed to the hospital. And they immediately thought he was dead on impact, honestly, because people said he was just laying on the ground and they didn't know what happened. So it's one of those things where safety is a big thing, and you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's absolutely unbelievable what can happen. And he probably suffered a concussion. So we're talking about a sport like volleyball where not many concussions happen, but a freak accident can happen no matter what sport you play. So please be careful, all of our athletes out there.
Definitely. On the not-so-breaking news, Tim Tebow. Going right into the NFL, yeah, right down to Tim Tebow. So the other day, I found out that the Jaguars fans were looking into getting him on the NFL team. Also, the band Kiss, they actually were looking into him for their Las Vegas team. They kind of wanted him to play for them. They were offering him millions of dollars to play with them. And you also told me about a Russian team.
Yeah, there's a team over in Russia that offered him $1 million to play in 2 games. So, I mean, that's pretty crazy. The Kiss, I think that's an arena league team. That's, Tim Tebow, the Jaguars picking him up, purely a marketing ploy. That's just me, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, they even said that the fans rallying for the Jaguars to sign Tim Tebow was wasting their time. The team has made it clear that they're not interested in the quarterback, and that's the right call to make, says Michael DeRocco, a writer from the ESPN, which I understand what he's coming from. The Jaguars taking Tim Tebow was a long shot for them, and right now it's kind of off the call because if they wanted to take him then, they would have taken him a while ago, not now.
Here's the thing this is my Tim Tebow take, if you will. He is not a quarterback. He is an elite athlete in the professional world, but he's not a quarterback. I think he needs to redevelop himself as maybe a fullback or a tight end or something like that. I mean, everyone's going to jump on the Tebow bandwagon because he's such a great guy and a good role model, but he's got to redefine himself as a football player because he's not a quarterback.
I remember when I first saw him for the Broncos, when I first saw him play, I honestly thought when I saw him running and everything, I thought he was a tight end when I first saw him because honestly, he's built like a tight end. He's not built like a quarterback. I mean, you look at him compared to Tom Brady. Tom Brady, love the guy.
Oh, here we go, Tom Brady.
He's my all-time favorite guy, but honestly, he does not look anything like Tim Tebow as a quarterback.
Oh.
And Tebow's built, he's built like a fullback or even a running back even, they talked about putting him at. The Patriots talked about putting him as a different position than quarterback, but nothing ever happened. So it'll be something that he's going to have to redevelop himself for if he wants to come back.
I agree. The ever-popular Wildcat formation is it's still there, but it's kind of gone away. That would have been a perfect fit for him because then he could just, take a snap, run the ball, and, if he has to pass every now and then, it could happen. But, yeah, he has to redevelop himself.
Yeah, I think he's done for now. On the other side, the other day, there was a tragic accident in Washington at the Navy Yard where a gunman came in dressed as a person from the military. He was actually a Texas citizen. He used to be in the military, but he was discharged. The thing that we have to bring that with sports is the Washington Nationals, they were playing the Braves on Monday night. They had to postpone it because following the shootings at the nearby Navy Yard. The Navy Yard is actually only a few blocks from where the game took place, and they said that they are deeply sorry for everything that happened during this cowardly act. I just thought that was something else. I can't believe it.
It brings my thoughts back to 9/11 in 2001. Yep. You were a youngster, I wasn't. I saw everything that happened, and I remember the Yankee game was postponed, and they actually postponed a lot of professional sports. Some teams went on and played the games, but it just brings me back to that, and there's so many tragedies that happen in this world. And for me, I applaud the Nationals for postponing it because, You know, sometimes we use sports to get away, but sports also has to think about, you know, the tragedy and the lives that are lost. That, you know what, sometimes they need to step back and do what's right for everybody. And I applaud the Nationals for doing that. Some people may not, but I do. Again, that's just my opinion.
I agree, and it's also the part with them playing is kind of a act on them for having to stop. And I agree with them stopping and everything, but I always remember, because my mom, she tells me every year, when 9/11 happened back then, I don't remember personally, but she always tells me she went right to the elementary school and took me out of school. You know, the principal always said it's the safest place, but she said, no, it's not. And at first the police thought it was a terrorist attack. I thought, when I heard about it, I thought it was something from Syria. I thought it was something from them trying to do something, but when I heard that they don't think it's a terrorist attack, it kind of brought it down. But still, it's not right to do. And on such soil as the U.S., you know, doing something like that.
Yeah, I agree. It's amazing how it just brings a country together, whether it's sports or something. It brings everything together, such tragedies like that.
I agree. On other news, Syracuse quarterback Terrell Hunt, he is going to start versus Tulane. On Saturday, he will play against Tulane, and the other day when he was playing, who were they playing? Wagner. He had 5 touchdowns in the first half, which is something else for him. And I think that even though you even said you played Wagner when you played for Springfield, and we used to talk about your hazing sometimes, but Wagner might not be a really top school and everything, but still, I think he's actually good for what they're doing. They said every drive that he took, he got a touchdown, so that's something to be proud of, and I think he can actually do something against it. So.
You know, playing football, it's all about how well everything meshes. Offensive line, running backs, quarterback. And I don't know how well Drew Allen meshes with the team because he was a transfer in from a very, very popular school.
Yeah.
So he had all that coming with him, where Terrell Hunt kind of just got to Syracuse and trying to move up in the ranks and stuff like that. I think SU might mesh well better with Terrell Hunt than they do Drew Allen. Again, just our opinions. We'll see what happens on Saturday.
Yeah, it's not really our choice, but it's kind of
Right.
what happens. Going to the NFL again, I have a little thing called the quarterback report. 2 players this weekend kind of stunned out to me, I guess you would say.
Okay.
2 quarterbacks. Phillip Rivers is my number 1. Honestly, he was downright scary the other day. I know you didn't watch it, but he had the best game as a quarterback in week 2, honestly, in my opinion. He had 76% of his passes, 36 out of 47, 419 yards, and 3 touchdowns without a turnover and just 1 sack. And he was perfect on 3 downs. He had a great game. With Eddie Royal the other day, he was unstoppable with him. He only had 90 yards, but he was really good. The other one, even with 4 sacks, Aaron Rodgers managed to get 480 yards for 4 touchdowns. I don't care for him as much. I know a lot of people do. I just don't care for him. I know, but he's a good player. Honestly, he was outstanding for the game. He couldn't miss. I was watching his highlights because I didn't watch the game completely, but I honestly don't care for him as much, but he really played a game that was worthwhile watching.
Listen, all you general managers out there for fantasy football, you had a great day with both of these quarterbacks.
Unbelievable, yeah.
Yeah, those are 2 outstanding performances.
And on the not so good report for fantasy, Eli Manning, what were you doing? Oh, it was just, I couldn't. I started watching the game. It was just like last week when they played the Dallas Cowboys. I stopped watching. And my girlfriend being a Giants fan, it's kind of hard, you know, because she gets all upset, and you know, especially when the Giants pitchers play.
Well, let's talk about it. First mistake is being a Giants fan.
Yeah, that's definitely first. I'm gonna get punished for that now.
That's okay, but that's the first mistake. Don't be a Giants fan.
No.
Second mistake, Eli Manning. You know, he's throwing what, 7 touchdowns? Or I mean, 7 interceptions.
Yeah, interceptions.
7
2 games.
2 games. Now on the flip side of that, you have his brother, who's thrown 9 touchdowns, no interceptions in 2 games. Both record breakers. All depends how you want to look at them, though.
Yeah, and it hasn't happened for a player to do that. 4 interceptions and then 7 altogether in 2 games. That hasn't happened since 2005, and that's just unbelievable. You know,
The Giants aren't losing giant right now.
they are not, and their defense is just. They need help. They had no pass coverage. The Broncos were throwing everything where no one was. You would watch the ball go right from Manning, right to who'd he throw? Demaryius Thomas or someone, you know, and it was just right there, and he was gone. There was no one there. You watch 5 Giants players run behind him, coming after him after he gets the ball into the touch. It's just.
I understand, and I still have a little Giants. I still have a little time left in me. If you want to draft me, you can defensive end, linebacker. I got it up here.
Bandwagon. Yeah, Giants just.
Not so good.
You know, and I'm afraid because, you know, good old Keating Griffin, he's a Giants fan. I'm afraid he's going to go all road rage on me. He sees me on the road now.
Well, Here it is. Don't be a Giants fan. You don't have to suffer that disappointment your whole life.
Yeah, I mean, look at the Bucks. I mean, he's bald. See, he lost all his hair being a Bucks fan. So I mean, it happens.
And we have the bandwagoner Patriots fans.
Yeah, it might be a bandwagon. We're still 2-0. So
He plays on the team.
I do.
He plays on
you
the
know what?
team.
My Facebook, okay, my Facebook account, my job description says I do work at Cicero Sports Center. So that's on. Also, relief quarterback for the New England Patriots. Says it right on there.
Do they know that?
They might know that.
Hey, we got rid of Tim Tebow. We picked up Andrew Evans. Woo!
I almost met Tom Brady once. Yeah, it would have been something else. I almost met him once, but I almost got a chance to meet Eli Manning. I turned it down though.
Well, good move.
I know.
Good move.
Especially for those who have Eli Manning on the fantasy, I am really sorry. I think he maybe got 5 or 6 points this week. It was bad. He really did not get.
Yeah.
The only thing he got points for were his yards, and he did. I think it was 362 yards. How do you get that many yards and still throw 4 interceptions? I mean, it's
a pass-heavy team. They don't have a running back. Yes, they just picked up Brandon Jacobs again, but again, they're relying too much on the pass, and that's what's going to happen when you rely so much on the pass. You're going to throw interceptions. I mean, because the defense understands that all these guys can do is pass because we don't have to worry about their run game. So that's what they're going to do. They're going to get in the Tampa 2. It's called the Tampa 2 for a reason. So they're going to get in the Tampa 2, and they're going to have safeties all over. So it's tough. It really is tough. But again, Eli is just not so good.
Yeah, he's not. And he really, I mean, last year people always said, and this happens, they say this all the time. I was watching this the other day. They said that this happens to the Giants. They lose a couple games at the beginning. They start doing bad. Then they somehow manage to get back. If that's the same thing that happened last year, they didn't even get into the playoffs. I laughed at that. I thought that was hilarious. But, you know, the same thing happens if it happens this year. And right now, they look worse than they did last year. I was looking at highlights from last year. They really do not look as good as they were last year.
There's not a whole lot of cohesiveness there with the team and everything. So,
No.
But you never know. They might figure it out. It's only second game of the season.
Yep.
So.
It's happening to everyone, even the Patriots. You know, I honestly...
Even the Bucks.
Yeah, but I mean, that's natural. But, see, the Patriots is just... You know, and there was this thing, I was proud of Tom Brady the other day, and I know you're like, yeah, whatever, but he even said the other day, he went out on Twitter, and he even said it on ESPN, he said that he was sorry for lashing out the other day in the game. He was screaming, and he was so frustrated because the receivers were not catching the ball. But he even said that it's not just their fault, it's my fault too. It's all a team effort, and he said our offense just has to get better, and just because Gronkowski's out, he supposedly might be coming back this Sunday. I'm really looking forward to that. I really hope he does.
I do believe Aaron Hernandez is out too. Sorry, just throwing it out there.
This will be the last show with Damon Villeneuve on there. And Shane Vereen, he's out till November 16th against the Panthers. He'll be back in. That's what they say. And still, Dobson, he's bouting. I mean, they're all on relief, and they might not be coming back. They're all questionable, and it's just. And Hernandez, but you know it's questionable for everything.
And you know they lost Wes Welker, which was that was huge. That was a huge component in their offense. And now you can see Peyton Manning is taking full advantage of Wes Welker because he is a fantastic receiver. And when you lose a weapon like that, it's only going to hurt your offense even more. So
it is. Yep.
It's tough, but that's the business of sports.
When I saw that, and you know Tom Brady, I don't know, a lot of people don't realize this, but the reason that Tom Brady was really disappointed that Wes Welker was gone. I mean, even though he was his #1 man to go to, he took and let some of the money that he was going to get from his pay go into the Patriots fund so they could afford to pay Wes Welker to do more. And they still did not offer him as much. They only, I think it was maybe 6, and he is worth way more. The Bucks gave him, I think, 8 something, which still, he's still underpaid. He's still underrated. People do not give him enough credit. And he's going to be such an advantage. He already is. I think he's got 3 touchdowns already for for the Broncos. He already is a big advantage for them already.
You know, and as much as I don't like Tom Brady, I really applaud his efforts saying, you know what, money is not an object for me. Please give some more money to someone that's going to help not only me, but this team. They didn't really take the whole team concept into play right there. They took the money into play, and you know, him willing to give up more money to keep Wes Welker, I applaud him for that. And that shows true team spirit right there.
It does, and I applaud Tom Brady for the way he does stuff, but see, the reason he does that is all his endorsements and everything, he really makes well over what he needs to be paid anyway. And you even, you look at, I've seen like his house and everything, you look at like Carmelo Anthony, I mean, he's my favorite NBA player, but you should see his mansion, it's bigger than Carousel Mall. I mean, they're huge, and they're so overpaid with different things. I mean, sports in general, they're overpaid, and I remember your class, we spent a whole day on that, and it's just the whole portion of Brady does not look at money as a factor. He just plays the game because he enjoys it, and you can see that. Being 13 years in, he'll have maybe 4 or 5 years more, and there's still it's worth it, you know.
He exudes such a passion for the game, which is awesome. So if he's upset with his receivers, maybe buy him some Uggs or something like that. You never know. I mean, he's got that endorsement going for him.
Yes.
All right, in other news.
Yeah, in other news. You know, let's talk about. I was gonna keep going on, you know, the Shane report that I have, but let's talk about the Bucs game coming up this weekend. They got who are they playing? Do you know?
I don't even know.
You don't know?
That's how bad of a
the
fan.
Patriots?
That's how bad of a fan I
Yeah,
am.
he is a bad fan. He really is. But the Patriots are playing the Bucs this weekend. Believe it or not, and you know, it's gonna. I think it's gonna be a game to watch. Honestly, they always do have a good game. I mean, last year we only beat you like 45-3, but it's still a good game to watch. But this year, I think it's going to be a little tougher because the rookie receivers that Tom Brady's playing with, they have plenty to learn, and the performances show it with the wrong routes and drop passes that they have all the time. I mean, who was it? What's his name? Tompkins. He's a tight end for us now.
Us, like you play for him.
Anyway, I'm sure you say us when you talk about the Bucs too.
Never.
Oh, bull. Anyway, so Tompkins, you know, he's a great player. He came, I forget what college he came from, but he has a lot to learn, and he had a bunch of drop passes the other day, and so did Dobson. Oh my God, he had a wonderful pass for the touchdown the other day versus the Jets. I mean, it was beautiful. Tom Brady laid it out. He had a quick curl in, and he took off, and he was gone. He got a touchdown. Brady was so excited, gave him a huge hug actually. Believe it or not, he is affectionate, but he doesn't like hugs that much. And he still. You know, after that, Brady was still getting frustrated with it because after that, he missed 7 more passes from Brady. And he would catch him, drop him, or miss it, or not even go the right way. Brady threw, where was he? He was throwing to a touchdown. Dobson ran, curl in opposite, and he completely went the opposite way. And Brady was just furious with him because Brady threw right to 3 Jets players. Luckily, they missed it, but he threw.
The Jets.
Yeah, well, yeah. But that's another story. But he threw right to them because Dobson went the wrong way, and he was screaming. He was so frustrated. But that kind of frustration means that you really enjoy the game, you know. And it's going to be an interesting game, man. They even say that Stephen Ridley, he has a lot to improve on, our running back. Our running game hasn't been great, but Ridley last year, Vereen was out once. Ridley came up, stepped up to the plate. He had 1,263, I think, yards last year running, which was really impressive for him, being basically a rookie. And Shane Vereen, he's sidelined with a broken left wrist for a few weeks until November 16th, so it's hard.
I think the other dynamic with this whole game is that they spent the entire preseason together.
Yeah.
I mean, whether or not they show all of their plays and all of their defenses, absolutely not. But you know what? If you spend the preseason working with a team, you start to understand personnel, and you start to understand, you know what, they might call this in a certain situation. So I think it'll be a good game, and we'll see what happens. I'm thinking Tampa Bay will come out on top because if you look at the last 2 weeks, New England's really struggled. They beat the Jets, woohoo! They beat the Bills, who I didn't even know still had a team in the NFL. So they've struggled with 2 teams that are really struggling. Yes, Tampa Bay is struggling. Josh Freeman might have a breakout game. Who knows? Cadillac Williams needs to do something. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see.
And you know, the Patriots and the Bucs have something in common this season so far. The Bucs, I know you didn't watch them, but they had ugly losses. The first 2 games, losing 1 field goal with 2 seconds left. Who was that against? The Jets, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I felt so bad because the Bucs really played good. They did not have a bad game. Geno Smith was way off. People said he did good. I honestly did not think he did as good as he could. I know it was his first game and everything, but he had preseason games, and he could have done something better, and he did. And then as time expired, the last game you guys played the field goal, and it's hard. And that same thing happened with the Bills and the Patriots. Gostkowski got out there. Brady rushed it down, 82 yards, got down there, 35-yard field goal ready, and Gostkowski got it, and we won the game with 2 seconds left. So it's hard to watch, and I feel bad for Doug Marrone in a way, but he honestly isn't doing that bad so far. He's doing good. It's hard to get it up. They just had their first win the other day, and I was proud of them, you know. And A.J. Manuel, I think he has some spark, and he has some potential to be something good.
Oh, absolutely.
So.
And see, the thing with coaches is, especially moving in from college up into the NFL, and there's kind of like, it's the unwritten rule. They give you like a 3-year grace period because the first year is so hard because you're going in there, you're installing a new offense, you're installing a new defense. The players, yes, although professionals, they still have to learn a whole new playbook. Your second year, they become veterans of what you have. You know,
Yep.
you can start draft. You might draft the player you need here, specifically there, and stuff like that. The third year, you should really hit the ground running and know what's going on.
Yep.
So, I mean, he's got 1 loss, 1 win. There's movement there. There's absolutely some positives going on, but we'll see over the next few games how it's really going to look and how it's going to shape up.
I can't remember who they're playing next, the Bills, but I know for sure that EJ Manuel, I think he really is going to do good. If you watched the other day, they showed after the game, right after he won, he ran over to his father in the stands, jumped up in there, and gave him a huge hug. So I think that confidence booster of winning one really gave him the hopes for doing something good.
Absolutely. And
And
if you look at it too, he was a huge shock in the draft.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, the Bills picked DJ Manuel. Why didn't they go with someone else? Well, I guess they knew something that we didn't.
I thought they were going to go with SU's quarterback for a second.
I did too.
But, you know, it happens that way. And also, you know, big wins for coaches and stuff is like Andy Reid.
Absolutely.
2-0 for Kansas City.
Kansas
That's
City.
just- oh my God, are you kidding me?
Chiefs.
I know,
Holy
it's
cow.
unbelievable, and he was crying the other day.
Yeah.
He was in, and I think it's a better place for him being there instead of being with the Eagles,
Mhm.
which that's going to be an interesting game to watch. This week, Eagles play the Kansas City Chiefs. That's going to be something. That's going to be funny.
I think Chip Kelly is beginning to see the struggles of the NFL.
Yeah.
You know, you try to put in this really high-powered, fast-moving offense. You're going against defenses that are just as fast, just as high-powered.
Yeah.
So, again, he's 0-2, so we'll see where everything works out with that.
Yeah,
And
and
so,
the Eagles, I mean, they didn't do bad the other day. Michael Vick, they played the Chargers. That was a really close game. I think it was 3-point difference, maybe 1 point. But no, 1 point was the Bears. They had 1 point difference, but against the Vikings, I felt bad. Vikings first play, Adrian Peterson down through and touchdown. It was a great play, and of course that was his only good play of the game. But it happens. But what was I talking about? The Eagles. Yeah, Michael Vick, great game. He had over 400 yards, I believe, and he was doing fine, but. Brent Selleck, he's one of their tight ends. He should have done a lot better than what he did. Sean Jackson, he did great, but it comes down to different things that they need to get better at to
Mhm.
further themselves, and Chip Kelly's going to realize that sooner than later.
yeah, because see what happened at Oregon is if you look at Oregon, generally their offensive line like 299 and below. So they
Yeah.
don't average over 300 pounds. You get in the NFL, now you're averaging 320 across the board.
Of course.
So it's funny to say, but your offensive linemen get a little bit slower because
Yep.
they're heavier. So, and he's used to these lighter offensive linemen that can, pull and go and get things done. NFL linemen, a little bit bigger, so your offense isn't going to be as fast and high-powered as it was at Oregon. So they're going to have to make their adjustments.
Yep. I don't know if you heard the other day, in the Patriots game, there was the Jets and Patriots. They had a little scuffle actually after, which actually happened a couple years ago. It was an interesting game. Patriots were winning against the Jets. It was a high. It was in the 40s to 3, I think it was. It was actually like the Bucs game.
Awesome.
But it was really interesting because it was late in the fourth quarter. They were on 4th down, Patriots, and they had nothing to lose really, So they hiked it to Brady like usual. They thought it was going to be an unusual thing. And for some reason, their offensive line looked a little weird, and they didn't realize what was going on. And Brady punted the ball. Now, for those of you who didn't know,
Where he should be, he's punting the ball.
Brady was a punter. Back in high school, he actually could have been a punter in the NFL. He's actually very decent at it. But he took and he hiked the ball, looked like he was going to pass, he faked it, and he punted the ball off. It was actually...
The quick kick is what it's called.
Yeah, and they actually said, the announcers, because it landed an inch from the goal line. Like it bounced and rolled and landed right there. And it was actually, they said, a professional kick. They said it's one of the best kicks they've ever seen. So, just another nudge. See, he wears Uggs for a reason. They're good kicking shoes.
Right.
So, but yeah, he actually did it. And then what happened after that was them getting in a huge fight and fines for suspensions, just like that. And that happened the other day, late in the game after the Patriots cornerback Aqib Talib, second interception. The Jets center Nick Mangold.
Formerly of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Now he's at a better place. Anyway, after his second interception, it was called a questionable late hit when Talib finally stepped out of bounds. That got in a huge fight. Jets players, they won't be suspended. They were going to be suspended, but now they're just going to get fines. So, it's kind of...
I have my thoughts on that, but
I know, it's just,
it is what it is.
It is. Back to the Shane report.
Oof.
Colin Kaepernick the other day, 49ers. That was, yeah, just like Eli Manning. Not as bad as Eli Manning, but he definitely had his worst game in his career, no matter how you look at it. He had completed fewer than 50% of his passes, committed 4 turnovers. Okay, now the Seahawks. great team right now. They are really looking good. Patriots and Seahawks are what they say is going to be the Super Bowl. Now, right now, that is not looking really good for the Patriots because of all the injuries. Danny Amendola the other day, he's out with a groin injury. I'm not happy, okay? He was supposed to be our new Wes Welker. He's out right now. It kind of made me upset. But, you know, he'll get back. Wentz and Brady even said in November, December, when they get all their players fully back, healed up, hopefully everything will be fine. That's when they'll start doing something, hopefully good. And it looks like we have some games that we can afford to lose anyway. We don't have very many, looks like tough games right now. But Colin Kaepernick the other day, you know, did you hear about the world record that was broke?
No.
Seahawks had the loudest stadium ever.
That's awesome.
World record. They were loud. I mean, my TV, I had to turn it down. I was watching it. It was so loud. And it was crazy. And they even said the last year when they played them, they got so scuffled around because it was so bad and so loud that they couldn't do anything. And Kaepernick just blew up. He couldn't do anything.
And I bet you when Seattle was on offense, it was dead silence.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
That's awesome.
It wasn't as loud, but the second they went on, I mean, he had 4 turnovers. He took 3 sacks. I mean, that's basically 7 turnovers in a way because he was doing everything poorly. He had 87 rush yards, almost more than his yards throwing, and he reacted poorly to the pressure for most of the night. And
you know, I look at it this way. I look at a quarterback as a pitcher in the league. You know,
okay.
you got some really good pitchers in Major League. And what happens is the hitter gets up there. You know, the first time they're going to strike out, usually because they don't know what's coming. They've never seen this pitcher before. Same thing with Colin Kaepernick last year. He got into the league. No one had seen him before. No one knew what he could do. He could pass. He could run. But now we're a year removed, and I think defenses are starting to figure him out. You know, that he's going to start. And they're going to break down film. They're going to say, you know what, on 3rd down and 2, he's going to drop back to pass, but he's going to run it anyways because that's just his tendency.
Yep.
And he's going to have those tendencies. So I think teams are starting to figure out what his tendencies may be. I'm not going to say overrated right now because he did a great job last year. I'm just going to say maybe hyped up more than he should be.
He's in the middle, kind of. Yeah. He's moderated.
So that's my thoughts on Colin Kaepernick. Russell Wilson, I think he's a legit quarterback. He's too short. No, he's not too short. He's a legit quarterback. And not only that, but they have Marshawn Lynch in the backfield, which allows the pressure to be off the pass game. So you have a good run, you have a good pass mix.
Yep.
So you got to have a good running game. And again, I know that San Francisco has Gore, but
Frank Gore's not having the best season so far. I mean, he's good.
He's very good.
But he's not like Marshawn Lynch good right now. Marshawn Lynch is having an outstanding season so far. I mean, the Seahawks really, last year they said that the 49ers defense was #1. They said that they were going to be the star team last year. They were not. Just because they took and had, I forget who they took a Patriots player, an old one, Randy Moss.
You're the fan.
Randy Moss, well, not for the 49ers, but they took Randy Moss last year. They said Randy Moss was going to have an outstanding year. Because that was so hyped up, every time they played, Randy Moss was pass protected. I mean, he was very protected. He did not get a lot of time. But he had an early injury too as well. So, I mean, they said that the 49ers defense was going to be the best. Seahawks was great last year, and they really are this year too. They had 3 sacks right then and there. That's just good. I mean, that's good football. There was a team that had 5 sacks this week. Who was it? I think it was the Panthers, maybe. I can't remember who it was. I saw it, and they had 5 sacks.
I know Mario Williams had 4.5 sacks himself.
I heard about that. Yeah, that was great. That was outstanding themselves. But Colin Kaepernick again, he was under such duress. Yeah, and he was 13 for 35 dropbacks, and he messed up, and he had only completed 1 pass for 14 yards on those plays.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm not gonna say overrated right now. I'm just gonna say hyped up more than he should be.
Yeah, so I agree with that.
That's just my turn.
Yeah, and you know, thinking about the Bills, Doug Marrone, former SU coach, he's actually slow to praise EJ Manuel. He says he doesn't want to act like he's really, really good right now because if he does that, he thinks he's just going to blow it. And he thinks he's just going to be overconfident about it and just go with it. He said, no, 6 times no. Doug Marrone was in no mood Monday to join the chorus of praise directed at the rookie quarterback. While Bills players and fans were still buzzing a day after EJ Manuel displayed praise and flair in the leading Buffalo to the last-second 24-23 win over Carolina, Marrone was not making apologies for being a wet blanket.
He doesn't want to overhype them, and I think that's good. When you're in the NFL, you got to keep your ego in check because one day you can be the greatest, Next day, you could be a bum. So I think he's doing a perfect coaching strategy by not overhyping him. It's just looking to the next game. What can we improve on? Those types of things.
I agree.
So I think Marrone is going to be a good fit for the Buffalo Bills. I really, really do.
Yeah, and he said he was excited for what he did. He said he had a great game, but he says he knows there's more potential. And if he gives him a lot of praise now, he's going to blow it. And he's going to be overconfident with what he does. He's going to mess up every game, and he doesn't want that to happen. He wants to be confident enough to proceed and get better and better and better and better.
Right now, he doesn't want to turn into a Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, or an Eli Manning, which that was even worse. That was a bad game.
Nah, you got to give it to him. He's got 2 Super Bowl rings.
I know, but,
Hey, I get it.
it happens. Let's go to this new segment I want to call, well, it's kind of new, but it's a new show, so
It's
kind
a
of
brand new
it's
show.
a segment.
It just came out today.
I call it Dos Favoritas para la Semana, which he had no idea.
7 years of French.
And you think you know Spanish by then. But it means 2 favorites of the week. My 2 favorites of the week, you can pick yours even though you didn't watch anything good, if you want. But my 2 had to be Phillip Rivers and Eddie Royal. They had, I wish we could show the highlights right now. Hopefully sometime we'll be able to do that. But they had an outstanding game. They had a game for the making. Rivers made 419 yards, 3 touchdowns, and on those touchdowns, none other than Eddie Royal. 6-year veteran from Virginia Tech. He had 7 receptions, 90 yards. Yeah, it doesn't seem like a lot. He got 3 touchdowns in that 90 yards. And it was incredible to watch. Yeah, he had a lot of fantasy points. I think Rivers was I think he was number 2. Rodgers was number 1, I believe.
Yep.
Eddie Royal, I think he was down maybe 5 or 6. So, I mean, he was really up there with just that. And if you watched him, I mean, he just had, yeah, the pass coverage was good, but he was doing quick, short passes to him, and he was getting far with them. The defense was good on the offensive line, and it really helped them get there. So.
Absolutely. My 2 favorites off the top of my head, just to make you angry, because that's what I like to do, I'm going to go with Peyton Manning and Wes Welker. Just because. Look at Peyton Manning, 9 touchdowns in 2 games. And you know what? Who's his target? Wes Welker, former Patriot. Yep. Tom Brady gave up money to keep him. They didn't keep him. Good move on the Patriots' part. Not really. So, those are my 2 favorites. Peyton Manning and Wes Welker.
You done?
Yeah, I'm good.
Just making sure.
I'm good for
You
right
never
now.
know. Maybe Welker will come back.
Yeah, I doubt it.
I know.
He's with a much better quarterback now. In other news.
Before I kill him. You talk so highly about Wes Welker and everything, people are going to start realizing, yes, he is one of my favorite, and he always will be. I almost cried. My heart was broken when that happened, when I heard about that, and they said he was going, and he was looking into the Broncos team, and people kept saying to me, that's going to happen, that's going to happen. I was like, no, it's not. That's not going to happen. Brady took and did what he had to do so he could be there, And I felt so bad for Brady. He was so disappointed, in what Belichick did. And I understand Belichick had his reasons, and he said that he just did not care for Welker as much as other people think. Maybe there was something behind closed doors that went on with them.
We'll never know.
We'll never know, but he still is a great player, and I give him props. Peyton Manning is going to have a great slot receiver to have to be able to throw to.
Absolutely.
It'll be perfect, but at the same time, I'm just disappointed, but I still give him props, and I think he'll go far still in what he's doing. And I think he is still underrated, in my opinion.
No matter what, it always comes down to the bottom line. Sports are a business,
Yep.
and it is what it is. And you know what? These over-bloated contracts are, and they're not really the athlete's fault.
Yeah.
It's the agent's fault, because the agents are the one that want more money, because if the athlete gets more money, the agent gets more money. So,
It's all marketing.
It is. It truly is. And
Everything's marketing.
And we're all caught in the conundrum. We love a team, but it's too much to pay for. So, but it's all very weird. So we'll just work it out.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm seeing a lot more people with these bracelets going on.
The flock bracelet.
Flock bracelet. I'm liking these. A lot of people.
$2.
$2. Yeah, I know. A lot of people are liking them, and they got your little hashtag making a difference.
Making
on
a
the back.
difference.
I like them. Yeah. Hopefully the flock will be going. Maybe we'll even get a chance to do a basketball halftime show or football. That would be cool.
That would be fun.
That would be fun to do.
Yes, that would be absolutely fun.
But going into injuries for this week, I just want to touch quickly. It's really hard. There's a lot of injuries this year so far in the season, and it's really, really difficult to watch. Watching running backs Ray Rice, Steve Jackson, Reggie Bush, Eddie Lacy, they departed from Week 2 games with injuries delivered on an early reminder of how it's an early reminder of how pivotal the pulls, the tears, the bruises, breaks can happen during an NFL season, even this early.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to watch sometimes.
And these guys are elite athletes.
Yeah.
They're training all the time. So, injuries can happen at the drop of a dime. It's crazy how injuries can happen. And it can lead to other things.
Yeah.
So, And even with NFL athletes, again, athletes out there, please be careful in everything that you do. You know, sometimes you don't want to go to the weight room, you don't want to do this training. You're doing it for a specific reason, that's to prevent injuries. And when we're talking NFL players who are at the top of their game, even they get injured. So I mean, you gotta really watch out for the injuries. And unfortunately for you fantasy players, some of these can hurt.
I know, just like a lot of people were telling me, you know, when Shane Green got injured, our all-star running back, he got injured really bad, you know, left wrist, and a lot of people got upset because they had him on their fantasy team. I said, I can't tell you anything. I don't have it on my fantasy team, so I'm okay with it. But
speaking of running backs, how's Woodhouse doing? Is he?
Woodhead, you mean?
Oh, Woodhead. I'm sorry. Is he still playing for the Patriots?
No, he's not.
Oh,
Saw him the other day, actually.
I think he had a good game too.
He did have a good game. Yeah, he honestly did. He went to the who was it?
I don't know, but I remember seeing his name.
I can't even think of who was it. No.
We'll have to look it up.
Yeah, we'll have to look it up. I can't remember. We're supposed to know this stuff.
I know.
I know.
All right.
He did have a good game. I watched some of them actually. They said that was a good pickup. I forget who it was. Maybe it was Bucks. I don't know.
No, it wasn't Bucks. I want to say Kansas City almost. No. We'll figure it out.
I kind of thought it was the Panthers for a minute. Maybe. No, it was orange. I saw Bengals.
We'll figure it out.
I think it was the Bengals. I think the Bengals picked him. I think I remember seeing orange on his jersey. But he did have a
The
good
Bengals
game.
just played last night against Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah. So
And beat 'em.
maybe that was, yeah, I know. That was
2013.
That was funny. The Steelers, you know, I always tell people this, you know, NFL football Steeler fans, you know, Mrs. Harshberger, she's a Steelers fan. You
Yeah.
know, Mr. Richardson, the PIG history teacher, he's a Steelers fan. I always explain to them, I don't know why they call it the terrible towel when they're terrible.
Good point.
It doesn't make sense.
Oh, it makes perfect sense.
Oh, it do.
If they're terrible, then you gotta wave the terrible towel because they're bad.
Yes, I guess so. And I guess when those fans are waving it, they're trying to throw in the towel because they did not do it. And Roethlisberger, he's a burger. I mean, it's just.
I don't want to talk about that guy. But it's a funny point you make about towel. They're throwing in the towel. Not only that, but they're white, so that means they're surrendering. Steelers ought to just give it up for the year.
They really should. And
Again, that's just our opinion.
it is, and it doesn't have to be yours, but they're doing not good. And yeah, the Giants aren't doing good, but the Steelers aren't doing any better.
No.
I mean, they're really on an upper level. Even though Manning might have threw that many interceptions, he knows he has to get better. And, you know, I thought props for Peyton Manning the other day. He even said, you know, they went in quick after the game, shook hands quick and walked away. They said, you know, a win's a win, but it's not a great win when I have to play my brother and win. He said it's not a happy moment and everything. He played an outstanding game, Peyton Manning, but Eli Manning did it, but I think there's all that pressure, you know, that builds up with that.
There's always pressure, especially against family. It's so hard because you want your brother to do well, but when you got to play him, you want to beat him. But after that, when you talk about the game, you don't want to talk about the game. You got one winner, one loser, and then you got your mom and dad who's torn. Well, it's a mess.
Did you ever see that commercial they came out with over the summer?
No.
Oh my God, it was so bad. People talked about it, and some people said they liked it, some people said they didn't. It was this DirecTV. They were like rapping. They were like all 70s clothes.
Oh,
it was 80s. I don't know, hip hop, and they were rapping.
I'm glad I didn't see it.
It was bad. I thought it was a disgrace to them, honestly, and I thought it put a bad image on. I think DirecTV or Dish did it or something. They put a commercial up, but I just thought it was ugly.
Glad I didn't watch it.
Yeah, I am too. A quick thing, Zach Johnson, PGA Tour player.
Moving into golf.
Yeah, well, I got it, but he won the BMW Open the other day. The tournament. He had a 25-foot putt on his final hole to earn his last spot in the President's Cup team, actually. And he had a bunch of punts for the final rain delay. Had a long rain delay. Didn't start till 5 in the afternoon-ish.
Did you see Tiger Woods was assessed a 2-stroke penalty?
Yeah.
Well, you're looking at me like I did it. I didn't assess him the 2-stroke penalty. He assessed himself the 2-stroke penalty.
I was.
You're what? Let's talk about it. You seem angry.
Go ahead, talk about
Well,
it.
okay. Tiger Woods was assessed a 2-stroke penalty, and here's the reason why. If you watch the video, which there's video out there, Tiger Woods is going and he's moving certain objects. He moves a leaf out of the way so he can get a better shot on his ball. He then begins to move a stick out of the way. But what happens is the ball, I'm not going to say rotates because it doesn't take a full turn.
Yeah.
According to Tiger Woods, he uses the word oscillates. So it moves down just a little bit. Now, what happens in golf, if your ball moves, you have to assess yourself a 1-stroke penalty. Tiger saw the ball, I can't say that, I wasn't there. What happened is the ball moved. Tiger did not assess himself a 1-stroke penalty. So what happens then is if you hit the ball where it lies after it's moved, you are then assessed another stroke.
Yep.
So he was assessed a 2-stroke penalty, first because his ball moved, second because he hit it where it lied. Now, here's my issue with the whole thing. Tiger Woods, greatest golfer of my time.
Yeah.
I never got to see the rest of them. Greatest golfer of my time. To me, I think he's a little bit more scrutinized than any other golfer out there.
Yep.
Now, if you look at Zach Johnson, was every single one of his shots, you know, zoomed in on, looked at, recorded, and then hit? I don't know. But if we look at Tiger, every one of his shots, we look at it, we zoom in on the ball, he is the focal point of every single tournament. So to me, I think it might have been judged a little unfairly. He should have assessed himself the 1-stroke.
I agree.
He should have assessed himself the 1-stroke, but he didn't. Therefore, he got a 2-stroke penalty, and he was actually making a charge.
Yep.
I think he was at 5 under. He had birdied 6 of the 7 holes that he just played, and now that just moved him back. Or 5 under, or he was 7 under, and those 2-stroke penalties moved him back to 5 under or something like
Yep.
that. So
that's how he ended, and I felt bad for him. And you know that happened, like you say, with the zoomed in and everything. That happened earlier in the year. I forget which one it was at. It was a big thing. It might have been the U.S. I don't think it was though.
The Masters.
Masters, yeah,
Yes.
Masters. It was everything that he does is like not even verbally, but it's so watched and everything. And I know, I understand. They say, you know, it'll be a huge press release or something if they don't say it and then something happens, but they don't do that to every player. Tiger Woods, because of everything that happened, all the allegations in years past and everything he does is under a microscope, and I feel bad for the guy. He honestly is one of my favorite players, if not my favorite. He's a great player, probably one of the best, or the best ever. And I just feel bad for him for everything that happens. And yes, that did happen that way. I watched it several over and over and over again, trying to figure out. But, you know, in all defense, maybe he didn't realize it, maybe he did, you know, you never know. Honestly, it's happened before, you know. If the wind blows it, they're going to say something about it, you know.
Right.
And it's all comes down to different.
They have lots of crazy rules. Like, even if you hit a putt and it's sitting on the edge of the cup, you have 10 seconds to walk up to it.
Yep.
And if you don't walk up to it within that time, then you get assessed as stroke. I mean, golf is a gentleman's game, I understand that, but I think they really need to take a look at the rule book, because there are so many rules and then sub-rules, and then you have A rule, C. There's so many components to the golf and the rules. It's just, I think it's kind of out of control. And back to the Masters point, that was assessed by somebody who wasn't even at the Masters. Someone tweeted in about it. So again,
They had to look at it.
here's the thing though. If you have, you know, my dad who's sitting at home watching golf, is he going to tweet about it and say, you know what, that ball moved, I think something should happen? I think it's up to the officials at the venue. If you have someone sitting at home that sees it and watches it, they don't really have the wherewithal to say, you know what, that should have happened. I think it has to do with the officials on it. So that ruling, I'm kind of upset by that ruling too, because they took an outside opinion, brought it in, you know, overruled every official that was there, and then assessed them the penalty. So I don't know. Golf is a strange one.
It is, and you know, I agree with what you're saying with that point, because it's just the same thing with football. They don't take, and if someone tweets in, they tweet all the time about it. They have hashtags put in there for it.
Right.
You know, and if someone say his foot touched the line, they're not going to go and say time out, review it, and look at it.
You know what's going to happen next? It's going to become like the WWE, and they're going to say, all right, let's take a fan poll. Was his foot on the line or was it out of the line? And then they're going to put a percentage up. 80% said it was on the line. And then the refs are going to be like, oh, he's out of bounds.
This is not Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. You can't phone in or anything. And the same thing happens with football, because, you know, if that was the case, back when the Giants played the Patriots, okay, in the Super Bowl years ago, and Brady threw a pass to Brandon Lloyd, maybe? I can't remember who it was exactly. And he caught it, and he was out of bounds, they said. When I looked at it, and they reviewed it the next day with a bunch of refs, they said, I think he might have actually been in bounds. They think his top of his foot touched it. They think his one foot was in, but they say his other foot went out. They said it might have been in. They look at that after. It was in the 2-minute mark, so they couldn't review it, you know. And the whole thing with, if I tweeted that and said his foot didn't touch the line, you know, they're not going to stop the game and say, oh, you win the Super Bowl now, you know, and that really made me
Hold
upset.
on, we got breaking news. We got a tweet from Andrew Evans.
I know.
Oh, his foot was on the line. He's out of bounds.
You know, it doesn't happen that
I
way.
know, it's crazy. And with the use of technology and everything that's coming in, and we've had, sports marketing, we had these discussions all last year. It's absolutely crazy. who knows what's going to happen? There's just so much out there. But, you know, has the integrity of the game been compromised? I don't know. It's such a hard thing to talk about. But maybe you guys can spark up a discussion among yourselves. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe, who knows? Maybe we should start that poll thing and have, maybe the NFL, maybe we should take a poll and say if his foot's on the line or something. You know, it's sad what you have to do. But
And if that's the case, let's just get rid of referees. You just have someone there who looks at social media all the time.
Yeah.
All right, yup, 80% said his foot was on the line. He's out of bounds. You know what I mean?
we could bring it back to when they were off because of they weren't getting paid and all that stuff. I mean, all those allegations. So, I mean, refs are refs. You know, they make mistakes.
They're
It's
human.
just, it's just like that picture I always love when the one ref's like this and the one ref's like this for the touchdown and one's like not a touchdown and then the other one comes in and I don't think it was. This one says it is. I don't know.
Everyone makes mistakes.
Yep.
Sometimes you become a New England fan. That's
Yeah.
a mistake. Sometimes you're a Bucks fan. That's a huge mistake.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
And you're a Giants fan this year, and that's
Oh, that's the biggest mistake ever.
kind of suicide. Yeah, that's not good. But you know, I still want to say good job for Zach Johnson though. Back to him for
Absolutely.
rallying to win the BMW. He shot 6 under 65 for a 2-shot victory over Nick Watney. So I'm
Hey,
happy for him. I
Those
give props.
professional golfers are legit. If you sit and watch some of the shots that they hit,
Oh, I know.
they are superhuman sometimes. It's amazing what they can do.
I know. I got to go to Turning Stone when they had the golf match there. They had the tournament, and Tiger Woods usually goes to it. He had to pull out because of his back injury. And if you watched after, he really did throw his back out a couple weeks ago. But I got to go there and watch it with the golf team, and I got Lee Westwood's signature. It was really cool.
Awesome.
And what's his name? Henrik Stenson.
Oh yeah.
I got him too. He was actually a really nice guy. So I mean, it's and the shots that they take, it's unbelievable.
It is.
You know,
It's absolutely amazing. Absolutely. Too bad you guys didn't go out to the PGA Championship at Oak Hill in Rochester.
Oh
That
yeah,
was-
that
that
would
was
have
it.
been cool.
I went there in 2003. I went there.
Did you?
Yeah, it was
Oh, the year the Patriots won the Super Bowl?
2003.
Yeah.
Are you sure about that? You may want
Oh,
you may
wait,
want
oh,
to check
sure.
your record book on that
Never
one.
mind.
I do believe
Never mind.
2003
Never
the
mind, that
Tampa
was
Bay
Bucks,
Buccaneers
man.
won that.
I knew I was thinking of something.
Ooh,
Yeah,
yes, you may check your record.
How
book
many
on that.
Super Bowls do the Bucks have won?
They are 1-1. They are 1,000% in the winning percentage of Super Bowls.
Okay.
Okay, what is the Patriots percentage?
Anyway,
We're
on
talking
to
percentages here. In other news.
Yeah, and then we can go to the Steelers and say how many they've been to, and they're still terrible. So.
Yes.
Anyway, what game do you want to watch this weekend, if you had to pick?
Oh boy.
Even though it's playing?
I would really like to watch the Tampa Bay New England game.
You want to see that?
But what's really going to happen is I'm going to watch the Cicero Falcons play Fayetteville Manly
There you
because
go.
my son is a junior peewee.
I know.
So-
Tell him about. He might be going to that. He might win that award for.
Oh yes, he might become. Yeah, he might become an All-American, the
Yeah.
youngest All-American ever because of his
for him.
high GPA and all of the volunteer work that he does. So he may become the youngest All-American for Pop Warner ever, that's pretty cool. For me.
I know he got that award from was it Salvation Army for or
The Rescue Mission,
Rescue Mission,
yeah.
for the DJ's
Yep.
blanket drive and all that.
Yep, the Youth Impact Award.
Yeah.
He likes to give of his time, so we're really proud of him for
Good
that.
for him. Yeah, that should be a good game. The Patriots play the Bucks at 1 o'clock on Sunday on Fox, so that better be broadcast. I'm gonna be really upset.
It won't be because we gotta watch the Bills lose, we gotta watch the Jets lose, and we gotta watch the
Packers play
Giants
Bengals.
lose.
Yeah, I know, and you never know. But the other game I really look interested to watch at 8:30 this Thursday. Chiefs play the
Chiefs
Eagles.
and the Eagles.
That's gonna be a good game.
Is it at Philly?
I think it is. Yeah.
That'll be
Lincoln Financial Field. So yeah.
That'll be an interesting homecoming for
It
Andy
will.
Reid.
It will. And I mean, a lot of people can't watch it because it's not NFL Network. You have to pay extra.
And
I do because I'm a Patriots fan, and you want to watch that kind of thing.
I
So
want to waste more money.
actually, I can watch it on my phone too, so it doesn't really matter. But if people can watch it, that's going to be really. I'm hoping. I'm really hoping. I'm hoping the Chiefs pull it off. I kind of see them winning.
Yeah.
I really do see them winning. A lot of people don't give them enough credit, and they say, that's like the underdog this year. I
Oh,
think that's going to pull out. That's going to be the wild card, and they're really going to do something. A lot of people kind of throw them under the bus, and you don't hear a lot about them. Like this weekend, I didn't hear a lot, but I think this year they're going to make something of themselves.
Yeah, they're definitely going to make some noise.
Yeah.
Definitely, because Andy Reid, no matter how you look at it, he's a great coach.
Yeah.
I mean, he has done wonderful things, and you know what? When you get a great coach at the helm, you're going to do great things.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. That's going to be a fantastic. I can't wait to get up Friday morning and check out SportsCenter.
I know, and they have Alex Smith going out for the Kansas City Chiefs, and he was on the 49ers. He was a good quarterback. I don't know why they took him off. Honestly, I know
Colin Kaepernick.
Colin Kaepernick, but still, he might have more athletic ability for running. But Alex Smith is not a bad quarterback. He
No.
honestly is not. And now no one talks about him anymore. You don't hear anything about him.
You will.
You will now, and he's on a team that he can make something of himself now. Yeah, the 49ers are good, but I think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to do something this year.
Alex Smith is a good decision maker.
He is.
That's what you need. You need a good manager at the quarterback level.
Person to make the calls and everything,
Yep.
so it's good.
Absolutely.
Other games this week, Packers play the Bengals. That'll be an interesting game. I kind of see the Packers coming out. I mean, I know Aaron Rodgers here will have numbers going up the chart, and everything. But he always does because they don't run the ball that much. They honestly don't. They really just throw it. That's why his average is so up there. I mean, last year, the Patriots, they were number 1 for offense, if you didn't know that. Number 1 for passing, if you didn't know that.
Here we go.
And they were 7th for running, which this year they're only 15th right now, which I'm kind of hoping that'll get back up. But Packers,
Don't be surprised by the Bengals.
You don't think so?
The Bengals, they'll make some noise. And
So,
they're coming off a
Randy
short week.
Dalton?
They're coming off a short week right now
Yeah.
with Pittsburgh. And are they 1-1 or are they 2-0?
They're 1-1.
All right, so I think they can make some
It's
noise.
kind of an even kind of.
I think they can, because I think they can make some noise.
Think so?
Watch them, yep.
Alright.
Their defense is a little bit stronger.
It is than what, and then it has
what
been.
it has been in the past.
And the Steelers have a decent defense, so I mean, if they can put up with them and take them, the Packers. The only thing I have worries about the Packers is they took the Redskins and ripped them apart. They were 35-0 in the first half, and it's scary when they do that. And if they put up numbers like that, that's going to be the problem. But I mean, the Redskins. I don't know about the Redskins this year.
It's like that Chip Kelly offense
Yeah.
again. It's that whole run and shoot spread. You got RG3. He says he's 100%, but mentally from an injury, you're never really 100%.
Did you see his knee brace the other day?
No.
They showed it.
Did he bedazzle it?
Yeah, he definitely, he had his, but no, he was playing and all of a sudden, he started banging on it randomly. He started banging on it, so they had to take a 10-minute break for number 10, and he had to get off and he had to get a new brace on because it was all broken apart and everything, so it wasn't working. He kept smashing it. Why he would play with a brace, which that can do even more damage if someone hits your knee. I mean, yes, it might stabilize it. That can also do something if someone hits it hard enough, I would not suggest him playing yet because I don't think he's 100% ready yet.
I agree, but he's an athlete. He wants to compete. He's getting paid millions of dollars. So I mean, he is the driving force behind Washington. So we'll see.
Rams Cowboys, they play at Fox on Sunday at 1 also.
I'm not even gonna go
I'm
down
not
to
gonna
Tony
watch.
Romo because we only got 15 minutes left.
I know. I'm not gonna even touch on the Cowboys. I don't like the Cowboys. I'm not a big fan.
Rams win.
Rams, yeah, I'm hoping that would be nice to see. They're both 1-1, so it's kind of evenly matched. But I don't want to see the Cowboys win.
Oh, the Toilet Bowl game of the week.
Giants and Panthers. That's gonna be a good. Did you watch Cam Newton the other day?
No.
He was awful. He was downright awful. I mean, I should have put him on the team for
He
it.
hasn't really been good since he came in the league.
Yeah, I agree. I thought maybe he'd pull something out and do something with it, but he's playing against the Giants the other day, which the Giants are a veteran team, and they might have had 2 games that they didn't do very good in the first 2 games. Cowboys, yeah, they ripped them apart. The Giants came back. I mean, they had a chance, they kind of came back from down 20, and they came back and they ended up being, I think it was 28-20, I think, or 31-20 in the end. So, and then played the Broncos the other day. I mean, you can't do anything about it, The only thing they have to worry about is the interceptions. The Panthers do have one.
We know he throws a lot of those.
And we do. So the Panthers have to really stack up on their pass defense if they want to do anything to get something going. And really, I think the Giants are going to rush it more, honestly, because the Panthers don't have the best offensive line and defensive line too. So if they run it more, they might have a chance to get up there, score some points, and get going.
I dub it the Toilet Bowl game of the week.
Yeah, it will be. I guarantee it. I do. Texans, kind of the unspoken team right now.
J.J. Watt. One of my favorite
J.J. Watt,
players.
yeah.
Oh.
He's good, but he's not great.
He's not consistent yet.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good word for it.
He's
I
not
agree with
consistent
that.
yet. He's good. He's just not consistent yet.
Yeah, it was just like last year. Patriots played the Texans for the They played them once before the playoffs, and then they won. Then they played. I think they won. They might have lost. I can't remember. I remember the championship game, or the playoff game when they played them. That was an unbelievable game. That was really a great game to watch. And the one thing Patriots were afraid, I think they did lose before the playoffs because they said the one thing they're going to do is protect against J.J. Watt. They were afraid of him, and you should be. He's a monster.
He is a monster.
He will rip you apart if he gets anywhere near you, and that's the one thing you got to be afraid of. But The one thing that he isn't is he is not consistent, and that's the one thing that they used against him. He did not get one sack. Brady was not sacked once, and he was taken down. And I remember Vince Wilfork had some words to say about him after the game.
Vince Wilfork.
Yeah, weren't you the one that said he was traded to me?
That guy needs a diet.
He actually did lose weight. He did. He is a monster though. He took on 3 guys the other day. I remember in the game they played.
Are you not? He's 400 pounds.
He had 3 of them.
It's like going against the Big Show.
He's only 300 pounds, but he's only 3. I can't. You want that?
No, I don't want to bet.
Yeah.
Is that what it says in the book, in the playbook?
You really think he looks 400 pounds?
Look at him. His
I
arms
do.
are bigger than my legs.
Yeah, but he's a beast, but he can do something, and he's a really strong power for them.
He
And
clogs up the middle, and that's what you need.
Yeah, he does.
You take, for the defense, you look at it, center, 2 guards have to come down, it leaves the linebackers open to free to
Yep.
find the ball. For what he does, he's amazing.
And I love watching him, like if he strips the ball and gets the fumble and he tackles it, or if he run. I love watching
Can
him
he
run.
run?
He can. He got a touchdown once on a fumble, all the way down.
It's on the half-yard line.
No. Don't even go there. He was all the way down. I think they were at the 20 or 30 on the other side. He grabbed it and ran.
And then he got to the sideline.
He
and
is
said,
faster.
"Oxygen mask!"
All right, switching topics. Who else plays? Let's see. The Lions play the Redskins. Nah, don't want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Redskins.
Cardinals and Saints, nah.
No, Saints are. I
They
don't
almost
know.
lost to Tampa Bay. It was in the final seconds.
I know, and that same thing. The Saints. Yeah, Drew Brees is good, but you know who's about to beat his record for most touchdowns thrown every game?
Let me guess. Not
Tom Brady.
Not Eli Manning.
No, it's not Peyton Manning either. Tom Brady. He's I think 4 games away from if he throws a touchdown pass in each game, he will have it.
What other games we got going on? Dolphins and the Falcons.
Ooh.
49ers and the Colts. Jaguars and the Seahawks. Bears and the Steelers.
Jets, Bills.
Oh, the New York Bowl. So that's what's going to be on TV.
That's
great
At
football
4:25,
TV.
Yeah.
So,
Actually, might be a good game to watch.
yeah.
I don't know. You got E.J. Manuel and then you got Geno Smith, 2 rookie quarterbacks going at it. It's going to be kind of interesting to watch.
Yeah, but E.J. Manuel, I think, is just one step farther ahead than Geno Smith.
I agree.
I mean, so.
And a lot of people are giving Geno Smith praise because they say he's really good. He's not. If he was really, really good, then they would be 2-0 right now. He did not have a good first game, and he did not have a great second game. But if he's really going to do something, he's got to start doing it now because he's not showing them that he's got something.
I agree.
Jaguars play the Seahawks, huh?
Nothing. I was looking.
Jaguars play the Seahawks. That's going to be a blowout, I think.
Yeah, I mean, here's my prediction, and take it for what it's worth. I think the Seahawks are going to win the Super Bowl. That's just me.
I think they have a chance. I think they have the potential to do it. Russell Wilson, he's great. He's doing something with him, and it's gonna be an easy game. But he's doing something with it. But if he really, really pushes himself with Marshawn Lynch in the backfield, they're really gonna do something.
I agree. I
And
completely agree.
Sunday night on NBC, you'll have the Bears and the Steelers. That's gonna be an easy game. 0-2 for the Steelers. Bears 2-0. I mean, I don't care for the Bears that much. Jordy Aldous,
No.
he's a ginger.
Oh, yeah.
He's a big, huge Bear fan. He's always tried to rub it in the Bears are good. They're not good. They're not great. I mean, they had 2 easy games, really, against the Vikings. They had a lucky win, 31-30 the other day. They're not going to do great. Steelers maybe will actually put up a fight, possibly. I don't know. But I kind of see the Bears winning that one, unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree.
And then Monday night, Raiders, unbelievably, they're 1-1 actually right now, which is surprising. And the Broncos 2-0. I'm going to say the Raiders are going to win.
Wow, who's their quarterback right now? Jamarcus Russell?
Yeah. Something you don't even know about.
Exactly. I don't even know who their quarterback is.
Yeah, that should be easy Bronco win. I'm not sure. Maybe Raiders will pull something off. It could be the upset game of the week.
It could be. You never
could.
know. It's crazy. Crazier things have happened in the NFL.
It has. And I still say the games I want to watch are the Bucks, Patriots, and Chiefs, Eagles. That's going to be the games.
Yeah, especially the Chiefs Eagles.
That's gonna be a good
Thursday
game.
night. That's gonna be a great game. It's gonna be hostile environment for Andy Reid. He's gonna be emotional. He's gonna get his team all fired up. Chip Kelly, the new guy, something to prove. He's gonna get the Eagles all fired up being at home. That's gonna be a great game.
And Andy Reid has something that the Eagles don't have. He knows some of the stuff that they're going to do.
Yep.
He knows what they're going to throw at him. He can do stuff to get against that. They might not do the same things because he's coming, but he still knows some of the stuff that they're going to try to push.
Absolutely.
So.
All right, well, that's our first edition of SC at CS, Sports Center at Central Square. I hope you enjoyed your time. I hope we've touched on some topics that you have thoroughly enjoyed and maybe will spark some discussion. If you want, you can tweet me at @dvilleneuve for more topics. We'll try to get as many as we possibly can. But again, I'm your co-host, Damon Villeneuve. This is Mr. Andrew Edmonds.
I had fun. This was good.
This was
I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully we'll be able to show it in the large lecture hall for senior study hall, and then, or not the large lecture hall, senior study hall,
Yep.
or in the large lecture hall. And hopefully we'll be able to give some study halls the chance to watch this too. So hopefully this can be a consistent thing.
See you when we see you.
Bye.